Today I'll be showing you guys exactly how I study Korean. Yesterday I went to a Korean cafe to get into the study mood. I often study outside because it keeps distractions away, so let's start! Today I will be studying with a book called 실행이 답이다, which translates to Action is the answer. I'm really into self-development and languages, so why not hit two birds with one stone? I usually start with a 25-minute timer. This is called Pomodoro time. After 25 minutes, we'll take a break. So first, I crack open my book and start reading. As I read, I make notes of what I'm reading, underlining words I don't know. I also take notes on the margins, rephrasing quotes I like or reacting to things I thought were funny or insightful. I also highlight and underline phrases that I think will be useful to add to my repertoire. New vocabulary and highlighted phrases are then transferred to my study notebook. I like to keep an unlined notebook so I'm free to write whatever I want, wherever I want. I also intentionally buy the cheapest and thinnest notebooks possible. There are two reasons for this. First, if it's cheap, I won't be too scared to make my notes perfect and stress myself out on everything I write down. This notebook just cost me 70 cents. Two, if my notebook is too thick, I will have trouble carrying it around, and then I'll also feel stressed thinking, when am I ever going to fill all of this up? A thin spiral notebook is perfect to take notes in. Take note! At this point, I'm just reading and transferring new material. Notice that I'm not stopping to figure out the meaning of each new word that I come across. We'll do that later. For now, we can use context clues from reading to figure out the gist of things and get the main point across first. I think this also comes from the fact that I'm a generalist type of person. I don't nitpick on the specifics first, but I try to get the big picture. Then I go back and get a more detailed understanding of the reading. I think this approach keeps it less stressful on you as you study. If you had to stop at each word, you'd subconsciously start to feel bad about yourself. But if you're just reading over it, you don't feel as pressured. Also, we will be going over these words again, so revisiting it will also give you more understanding instead of just seeing that word once while passing by. So you see how I got this weird look in my eyes after drinking from the straw? Yeah, I just got my wisdom teeth removed last week, so I just wanted to be cautious. Also, Korean medical services. That's a topic for next time. Anyways, another thing to note while you're studying is the type of drink you have in hand. I chose a refreshing peach iced tea. Warm drinks will make you too comfortable. That's for when you're reading in leisure, but we're not doing that right now. As we will be actively reading, it's good to get a cool, slightly tangy, and maybe sweet drink to pump you up. Choose a cafe that's not too crowded or you'll get distracted by the people and noises. It was after work hours, so this cafe was not too populated. Think of your environment while you study. Is it conducive to learning, or is it filled with distractions? I often don't like studying at home because I get so distracted by minutiae. Cleaning, eating, prepping for my classes, sleeping, eating, prepping for my classes, the list continues. But being outside in a cafe or at a library makes me more focused. I think the people surrounding you makes you more aware of yourself, so you want to seem cooler than you are. Not that I'm not cool. I am, I swear. And want to hear a joke? No? Okay, I'll tell you later. Alright, so after 25 minutes, my alarm usually rings and I take a 5 to 7 minute break. During this break, I was working on my Korean lesson plan. Currently, I'm teaching my coworkers at my English Academy Korean. I admit that sometimes I'm learning too, even though this is basic phrases. I'm also wondering how to incorporate our lessons on YouTube, but that's something for further consideration. For now, we're meeting once a week and it's quite fun. Okay, break over. Now in the second half, I just finished reading the chapter, so now I'm gonna go back and look up the vocabulary for the words that I wrote down earlier. Naver Dictionary works best for this. I usually write the Korean words in pen and English translation in pencil. Sometimes for really common phrases and vocabulary, I immediately come up with my own example next to the translation. I draw it or write up a few sentences. This will help solidify the word in your memory. After figuring out what all the words mean in what context, I go back to the book and read over them in the sentence they were originally in. Now I read around it and it makes more sense. If it helps, read aloud to yourself. Because Korean grammar is so different from English grammar, sometimes I even dissect the sentence structure when I read because the long sentences are so confusing. It's hard to figure out when the noun phrase starts and ends. Anyways, after reconfirming my understanding of the chapter, the last step is writing a summary of what I just read. Now, this summary I write with some help from the material from the book. I try to paraphrase as much as I can though, while still copying a lot of their phrasing because I want to learn proper grammatical syntax. I usually rewrite key points the book made, and if it's fiction, I would write down major events and results. The next day, I would read that summary in my head and try to say aloud as much as I can remember from the reading and the summary. I add the vocab words and phrase chunks to my vocabulary app, Anki, and practice it at least 5 minutes a day, every day. And repeat. So, to wrap up, step 1, take notes and underline furiously while reading. Try to have a dialogue with the book and make it fun. Step 2, write down new vocabulary and phrases and lines you liked. Step 3, after finishing the chapter or reaching a good ending point, never stop halfway into a new concept. Take a 5 to 7 minute break. Step 4, after the break, get the translations or definitions of your new vocabulary and write it down in your notebook using a different color to differentiate the translation. Step 5, once you understand all the words, go back to the book and locate all the words in their original sentences. Reread around the sentence to solidify your understanding of the reading and the new vocabulary. Final step is to write a brief but full summary of the reading you just did. Try to use the same or very similar phrasing to the book. Remember, you want to copy this style of writing. I hope this study tutorial helps you structure your study sessions to be more productive yet fun. I highly recommend studying outside at a cafe or a library because studying outside just gives us more incentive to be productive, and we might even meet someone cool. I've met countless people just from cafes and tea shops. But for now, we study. Let me know if this method works for you or if you have any suggestions to make on my study habits. Next week, we're going to learn how to study listening and speaking, so see you there! If you like this video, give it a like and hit subscribe below so I know what content I should make in the future. Bye!